people say electro swing is dead. I went there in every part of Europe and it was sold out.
And when was this? What years are we talking?
We are talking about last winter.
And it was still sold out all over Europe?
Yes.
With his identity hidden behind a giant moustache, the Swingbot is one of the most mysterious figures in electro swing. But in this interview, we uncover more about the man behind the mask. From his first encounters with music to his breakout track Waves of 84, which has already gained over 4 million streams, and his residency at the legendary Party Like Gatsby events that took him touring all across Europe. We cover all this and more in the latest episode of the Electro Swing Podcast with the enigmatic
Swingbot. Welcome to the Electro Swing Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
For anyone who isn't familiar with your work already, could you please just introduce yourself briefly and explain a little bit about you and your music?
Yeah, so I'm the Swingbot. I'm French, from the south of France, and I moved to Austria, where I'm now living. I produce music since I'm probably 11 or 12 years old. I come from the hip-hop, rap music. Started with instrumental for some friends. I didn't know I was producing electro swing at the beginning because, like I say, I came from the hip-hop, so a lot of sampling and listening old vinyl music. One day I found this sample of Glenn Miller, hooked on a swing. I tried to do something, but it was not fitting on a hip-hop beat as I wanted. So I went 4x4, like kind of house music style. I did a very easy arrangement, like 2 hours. And I had a friend. It was a kind of the music he was producing. His name is Vasily Gemini. So I give it to him and he gave me some very good feedback because he played it on some gigs. And then he was like, okay, maybe just for the fun, find a name, put it on SoundCloud, because at this time SoundCloud was very famous for the electro swing. So in 5 minutes, I had to find a name quickly.
Right.
And I uploaded it and it started like this.
So you're the first guest I've had whose identity has been obscured. And obviously the mask is like a big part of your branding and your image. And I'm just wondering what the story is behind that. Like, why the mask? Why a giant mustache? Tell us about it, please.
I was in this electro swing community. You know, we all know the name of each other. There is a lot of DJ, producer. I just wanted to have my own signature visual and that goes with my sound, and also to bring something to the electro swing in general. Like, okay, all people will recognize me and my music. Yeah, it seems French like to wear masks, so I was like, okay, I have to put something in my head. Yeah, it could have been other stuff because I designed so many projects before, but the moustache was fitting well. So yeah, I built it and decided to go like this. But of course, I did some show without it at the beginning. So it was not really to hide myself. I like it like this. I prefer that people come to listen my music.
So how did you first get into making music? You mentioned briefly before about kind of hip hop and that being your background, but how did you get into that? What was your very first experience of music?
So I was at a friend place. I was like probably 8 years old. We were playing like Lego in the house and everything. And suddenly I heard some music from the next room, you know. The door was open, so I just looked through it. And the big brother of my friend was scratching with a vinyl.
Right. Yeah.
I had like, okay, what is it doing now?
Yeah.
And at the moment I looked at it, I know, okay, I want to do this. I sold all my toys, my console, and bought some deck and started like this. But then I was blocked because I wanted to scratch, but I needed some like beat to scratch on it. And then I was in this electronic school, IT. I had a friend who know computer, and I went to his place, and he showed me this software, Reason, and or it was Fruity Loops. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he told me, look, now you can just click here, 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 and you can do a bit. And I was like, wow, this is now what I want to do. I moved from scratching. I was still scratching a lot, but to the music production. I tried at a point to just do music and maybe to live from it. But I was not satisfied because I had to sit in front of my computer and to do music. Sometimes I don't know the other artists, but I suppose it's also they have the same problem. Or to find the creativity, it's not coming back. It's not coming at the moment you want. It's not there.
Difficult to force it, isn't it?
Yes, it's sometimes crazy because for maybe 2 or 3 months, even half a year, I don't want to do music. There was some time in this electro swing period where I was like, okay, I have nothing is coming, so I will not force it. And then other times in a weekend or into one day, I can do 3 track.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. Like even as recently as about a month ago, I was starting to think about other projects and stuff, and I was like, I've just turned 40. Realistically, am I ever going to make a living out of music? And if I'm not, what should I be trying to do instead? Because I don't know, I just feel like I've kind of lost a bit of the inspiration. And then I've done some collaborations recently, and that's really revigorated me. And in the last week, I've written like 2 songs, which is more than I've written in the last 2 months. And it just comes like that. So sometimes when if you're trying to force it, that inspiration doesn't come. And then other times when you're not trying to force it, it can come so rapidly that you can just make up for all that lost time.
Yeah, this is what comes with a creative hobby or music. And this is why I try to keep it as a hobby, even if it's working pretty well, because then I decide when I want to do music or not. It can be complicated. For me, in this case, to keep it as a hobby, it brings me that I have fun doing it. And at the time, I export the final file, send it to the master. What happened after this? It's not really interesting for me. I mean, it's an important part of the process. But if the numbers are not here, for me, it's not like I don't care, but I'm already working on something else, Between the time we produce and it's released, it sometimes can be a lot of time. So what happened next? Yeah, it's interesting because you can have a view of what you do. For me, I will continue electro swing until there are still enough original swing music that I can sample.
So what was your first official release as the Swingbot?
Wow, the name, the title, probably forgot. But I remember it was working on the compilation. It was on the compilation of the Electro Swing Elite with Wolfgang Lohr.
How did you start working together with Wolfgang, and how did you end up on that label, on that compilation? Like, what's the sort of story?
Because at this time I think it was a very small, not small community, but all the producers were very working together. It's something that I found out in electro swing. It's more friendly, and connectivity is more real than some other genre. People will be like friendly with you, but then after that, nothing happened. Yeah, electro swing is a bit different. I think it's more real, and I think he was contacting me for a compilation if I have maybe a title that is soon finished or could be ready for the deadline, and I say yes. So I send him over the track. He was happy. At this time, I think he was working also with Faustoni.
Okay, yeah.
On the compilation and the beginning of what is now Electro Swing Thing. I was very happy to be on this compilation with the big name that I was never thinking that I would be on this kind of release with other guys like Barton Baker, Wolfgang Lohr, all the big one. Yeah, and for me they are still the big one. On the scene. I'm still not. I cannot compare myself to them. But it was a a great start, and I will be always thankful to him, to Wolfgang Lohr, that he gave me some push into my career. And
I'm just interested. So, because if you hadn't released any tracks by that point, how did he know who you were? Were you just DJing live at that point?
I think so. It was around 2015, maybe 14. And SoundCloud was still very big at this time. I think it was the peak. And for the Electro Swing, it was crazy because we have all these big playlists on SoundCloud. Yeah, all the artists were really following the other, giving comments, critics, or it was, the resharing. This was, I think, SoundCloud before it crashed because of the money. It was where everyone was. And the scene was not that big this time, so we knew each other, all the artists, DJs, producer. So yeah.
So you featured on this compilation on Electro Swing Elite, and then what happened next? Because most of your stuff is released through Freshly Squeezed, is that right?
Yeah. So I think I did like maybe 2 or 3 compilation from the Electro Swing Elite, and then I think one day I had like 4 or 5 tracks to do an EP. I was like, okay, I will take my chance, even if I know I will probably have a negative, not a negative, but not the answer I want. But I said, okay, let's try and send it over to Freshly Squeezed. I got feedback from Nick, and he was very interested to work with me.
Cool.
He don't have any other artist like me on his label. It's more like a band, or it's a bit different from what I do. And I think he was interested by these parts. And since then, I always worked with him, and I really like to work with them. They are very professional.
And since we're talking about Freshly Squeezed, you've obviously got a new song that has come out today at the time of recording, which is the 15th of August on Freshly Squeezed. So can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so I was contacted by the team, and they said, okay, we have all this very music that went popular into the last 20 years from different artists. And is there one that you would like maybe to remix? So I listened, and yeah, I found this track from Elle and the Pocket Bell, 100, the title.
100.
And I was like, wow, I had an idea, and I want to try to make it definitively. I went on the funky house side, but trying to keep it a bit still like pop funky style, not too much club. So yeah, it was great. It was my first contact with the girls from the band. And,
okay.
Yeah.
So did you speak to them as well? It wasn't just a case of Freshly Squeezed gave you the stems and you remixed it. Did you have contact directly with Ellen?
I had contact afterward with them because I also wanted before, at the same time I sent it to Freshly Squeezed, that they also give me their thinking and critics on them.
Cool.
Because,
that's nice.
Because I don't want to destroy anything, Again, was very positive, and I tried to keep to conserve the mood, the energy they give in the original.
Well, it's a very cool sounding song, man. I'll play a little snippet of it here so people can hear it. But yeah, it's called 100. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, 100 by Elle and the Pocket Bells, remixed by the Swingbot.
Live life to the fullest. Let's give it 100. Live life to the fullest. Let's give it 100%. Let's give it 100. Let's give it 100.
Looking at your Spotify, your biggest track by quite a margin is Waves of 84. First of all, congratulations, because it's got like 4.5 million streams. Amazing job. Why do you think that one track is such a standout compared to your others? Because you've got good numbers on most of your songs, but that one is definitely sort of head and shoulders above the others. So what are you thinking behind that?
I think there are two different things. The first is that, this sample is very well known, of course. And the second, at this time, I was added on a different playlist, editorial from Spotify, but not the Electro Swing one. It was a German electronic playlist, and they are like I think the Electro Swing playlist editorial is like 380,000 follower. I think this playlist was like 3 million follower, and it was an editorial one. I don't know, how it went, why they chose this one. But yeah, the number went big, and I was lucky that I released this one before Dua Lipa released it. They could have said, yeah, you did this because she did it, but I was really lucky, like 1 year in advance or 2 years in advance. So,
Yeah, maybe she copied you.
no.
I read that you were like a resident DJ for the Party Like Gatsby shows. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was or what is Party Like Gatsby?
So it's a show with a lot of different artists from circus, from live event artists. There is a band, and it's more like a show. It's not like a Electro Swing Club party. You go there, you can have your drink, you can sit, you watch like a bit like a cabaret, like a Moulin Rouge, for example. So you have a show, and it's on a timetable, very accurate. So at this time, you will have this show, then there is a turnover, the band, another show, another artist, different kind of show, but always focus on this era from the 30s, 1930s, you know?
Awesome. And is it still going?
No. It was the last winter, the last season. I think now the producer want to do a break, but let's see if they come back. But I think there are other shows like this one still going on. But this one was the big one. And for me, it was like people say Electro Swing is dead. I went there in every part of Europe, and it was sold out.
And when was this? What years are we talking?
We are talking about last winter.
And it was still sold out all over Europe?
Yes, it was
Wow.
the queue outside. The people were waiting in the cold. Just
There's
to
hope. There's hope for Electro Swing yet then, for live events still.
Yeah. The entire crowd was dressed very nicely, like they are always in the Electro Swing parties. This was a crazy show, yeah.
Amazing. That's really promising to hear. So if they take a break and then they do come back, will you continue to be the resident DJ?
Why not? I think if they come back, they will have a different idea, probably. I think they stopped because they did it for like 10 years. And I can understand that after 10 years.
How long did that last for? How long were you a DJ for those shows?
I did, I think, 3 years. The last 3 years of the show,
Yeah. How many shows is that in total, roughly?
Oh, it was like 20 per season. Mainly in winter, started end of autumn, winter, and then it was over in the beginning of the spring, right before spring.
So like 60 shows touring all around Europe.
A bit less city, a bit less show, but it was crazy. I mean, there was some weekend when it was a fire. You go there, you play Friday, then Saturday, then other city again and again. This was crazy, but I liked it because before the show, I was doing like a pre-warm-up, and this was new for me to do very different, as I wanted to play only original swing. And this was cool because, I never did it before. And it was kind of, like every electro swing party, you mainly have a warm-up DJ, then you have the band or any kind of event, and then you have the DJs after. But this show was starting more early in the evening. So I was often impressed of people can dance that long and still stay on the dance floor when I played till the end.
So let's move on to the Electro Swing section. You've already told us how you discovered Electro Swing, and you basically kind of created it without even realizing. But what were some of the first artists you discovered once you realized what Electro Swing was?
Actually, as I said, this first remix from Glenn Miller that I put on my SoundCloud, and then 2 weeks later, I don't know, me thousand of plays it was. I was contacted to play in Germany at this time. The problem, I had no playlist. I didn't know any artists. So I went to my friend, Vasily Gemini, again, that introduced me to the Electro Swing. And I asked him, okay, you have to share with me some of your playlist because I don't know what to search, what are the name. So we went for a double gig into a weekend in Germany together. And I think he gave me the parts of his playlist tracks that he didn't wanted to play.
Right. Okay.
Not that I got the bad one, but yeah. And so I remember I played my first gig without knowing who was Stellar or Caravan Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you playing their music though, and just didn't know who they were, or you didn't include them in the set?
I think he kept all the Stellar
Right.
track for him because it was very famous. It's still, but I got very more deep house track or electro swing house track, but it was cool. I had to dig into his playlist and then find also for myself, but the time was so short that I couldn't make my playlist on time, so I used a lot of track that he sent me over. And of course, yeah, my last remix and the project I was starting to work because I was like, okay, let's do more because I like to produce it. At the beginning, I knew no one from this community. And this was great because I listened a lot of different one at the beginning and not directly the biggest name.
You've sort of been around not since the start of Electro Swing, but from at least 10 years. So obviously a lot has changed in that time. What are your thoughts on the current state of the scene?
When I arrived in the Electro Swing scene, actually the people were telling me, okay, it's over. And I was like, oh, I just arrived. Why it's over? And personally, I don't feel like it was over or that it went down. I think the party that went down into Electro Swing is the event. Because in terms of production, DJs, release bands, it's still coming pretty often. And we have a lot per year, every year of release. But the event organizer of Electro Swing Party, they stopped. And I think COVID was a bad time and never started again after this. So the current state for me, it's still good. And I think still a great community. But a lot of the artists that I was at this time at the beginning are not anymore doing it.
Yeah.
I think a lot stopped. A new generation, a lot of new producer or bands started as well. So I think it's just an ongoing movement. Some are stopping, some are starting.
Cool. So let's move on to the quickfire round then. So the first question is, what is one thing in your career, either musically or creatively, that you are most proud of?
To see where I am now as a music producer. When I first see this guy scratching on the vinyl, I will never assume that I can go that far, or not professionally, but at the level I am.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge that you've faced?
What is challenging is the time consuming of the social network. It feels now that since I will not say 10 years, but maybe a bit less than 10 years, that it's not what you do, is what you produce, is more what you show it to the other on the social network. So you can, it's not very fine critics, but some music are not very not well produced. But you see that without the impact on the social network, this would have never worked as a music, because it's like people do stupid stuff on the social network, the view that goes with it, and
Yeah, it's marketing is more important than talent in a lot of cases, certainly in social media. And what's like one of the wildest things that's happened in your career?
Every time at the beginning I was playing in the club and just knowing that I was doing my music alone in front of my computer, and now I'm in front of 300, 500, 1,000 people, and they are dancing on it, like driving even like 300, 400 kilometers just to come to the show to listen to it. This was like, wow, I will have never expected this. And yeah, I went to so many parties, and this was most of the time like crazy events. People were crazy dancing, and this was a crazy adventure.
This is my favorite question. What is one bit of advice you would give yourself when you started out, if you could go back in time to the beginning of your music career?
Start earlier. Enjoy maybe more, to do it really for you first. I mean, it was a bit my case, yeah, because I was never expecting to even release or get €1 or $1 for my music. So I've always been at this, and I try to keep it like this. Like, yeah, do it first for you. Maybe learn music, learn the music theory.
So this is another one that I enjoy. If you could collaborate with any artist in the world, dead or alive, who would that be?
Maybe Edith Piaf, if I could choose first, from this era, and was a great artist. Maybe, of course, just to sit and talk about music production, maybe the Daft Punk.
I had a feeling that might be one of the answers, yeah.
I met them because I went to one of their concerts in my own hometown in south of France. I knew them not before they were famous, but I knew how they look without the helmet. And they were sitting with the crowds, and the sound engineer. And so I just went to them and could talk. Yeah. It was so funny that everyone was looking at the front stage, waiting for them to start.
Yeah.
They were just there in the middle.
And no one else recognized them?
No.
So what is something outside of music that your fans would be interested to learn about you?
I like to cook, a bit like music, You cut different slices of everything, you put it together, you bake, and you can eat.
Okay.
Maybe I'm French, so my background, cultural background. I like to paint, design things.
Okay. And any final words for fans of your music?
Thank you. Thank you so much. For the one that come on Instagram, Facebook, they write me like some message saying that they like to listen my music because it changed their mood, or it make them happy, or think about less problem during the day, and they would like to meet me in person when I play somewhere. That's amazing. The same when I see the number of people that listen per month, every month. Thankful. I never ask that much.
Last question then. Is there anything coming out that you would like to plug or promote or shout out that people can learn about?
So in September, there will be the full compilation of the 20th anniversary of Freshly Squeezed with my remix on it. And then it will follow by a new EP. I will also release on Freshly Squeezed with 4 different tracks. Very kind of different electro swing or swing house as I do. For this 4 track, this is also what I like to try, not to do the same because it can be very boring. But
is that in September, did you say that the EP?
Yeah, I think it's end of September.
And does it have a name yet?
Deluxe.
Deluxe,
yeah.
Cool. Well, that is the end of the interview. So thank you, Swingbot, very much for your time and for speaking with us.
Thank you very much as well. It was very nice to meet you and to answer your question and to be part of your podcast.
Nice one, man. Well, yeah, likewise.
So that was the latest episode of the Electro Swing Podcast, brought to you by Electro Swing Thing and hosted by me, Offbeat. If you want to find out more about our guest, links to their music and socials can be found in the description. And if you want to follow us, please do so at Electro Swing Podcast on all major platforms. And if you want to get a heads up about upcoming guests and a chance to ask your questions, then sign up at electroswingpodcast.com. I'll be back in another couple of weeks with my next guest, and thank you very much for tuning in.